Welcome to another episode of WTF Cinema.
Welcome back to WTF Cinema's review of Toys. Let's continue. Now, in order for his plan to take effect, the General has to keep Robin Williams out of his business, because Robin is very anti-war. So he secretly starts sealing off more and more of the building to do his secret toy project. The point is driven home while Robin Williams is having this meeting in the Tetris room. Okay, so the designer of the toy factory managed to create a building where office walls could be moved in order to accommodate space throughout. They could reallocate space in a building. Wouldn't they have marketed that technology? Do you know how many office buildings would love that? Hey, John, sorry, you've been demoted. Don't worry about moving your desk, though. We're just going to shrink your office by a half. Steve's going to take over the new, bigger office next door. They'd make a fortune. Okay, so, suspicious of the General's activity, Robin Williams manages to grab a security card so that he can go and investigate the top secret area. But there's security cameras, and guards watching the security camera footage. Remember, this is a peak military clockwork organization of discipline. How are they going to get past these guards watching the security cameras?
This is Yolanda and Steve. I think they're terrific.
Seriously? You really want me to suspend my disbelief enough to think that guards watching security footage wouldn't notice when all of a sudden one of their security cameras started picking up MTV? Not only that, not only do they not become suspicious when all of a sudden the security monitor is showing them a cable network show, they also don't realize that the main singer in the video is the nephew of the owner, a guy that they see around the factory all the time, every day. The movie really wants me to suspend my disbelief that much. Somebody just went, wouldn't it be funny to have Robin Williams do a music video? That's how this scene got in here. Somebody went, you know what'd be funny? Robin Williams doing MTV! That's timeless! Now, finally, while Robin Williams is poking around, the guards realize, oh wait, we're not supposed to be getting MTV, and they sound the alarm. And so Robin's trying to escape, he's trying to run away, and ends up falling in a tank with some kind of top secret genetic experiment that tries to kill him. So now we're doing genetic research at the toy lab. Really. We've got walls that move on their own, we've got remote controlling military hardware, and now we've got genetic engineering. It's like the Albert Einstein toy factory. Also, we're told very clearly that this monster that he's trapped in there with, very deadly, definitely going to kill him. Except he escapes. But they never explain how or show us how or why or how he gets away. He just escapes. The writers wrote this monster that was just too powerful and too strong and then forgot to come up with a way out. So they just said, oh, and he escaped. So now we've established our primary villain and our primary plot point. Alright, we know who he is, we know what he's doing, we gotta stop them. Piece of cake. We've already got a team together. Let's do this. How much longer do we have left in this film? Wow. How do you draw out the final climax for an hour? That's half the length of this film. Well, primarily by showing a lot of scenes like this. Now, we're introduced to this very strange subplot where it turns out that the General and the General's son are both sleeping with the same nurse. Ick. We only meet the nurse once before, for about 5 seconds. Very briefly do we see this nurse. And now, more than an hour later, we just cram into the plot that she's sleeping with both of them, which, of course, turns the son against his father. Well, not really. She actually reveals that the General killed his mother by sending her out on a mission in Vietnam, even though she wasn't in the military at all. But, honestly, it would have been less stupid if it had been because his dad was boning his girlfriend. So the son now joins our heroes. Now we have a definite working team who can go up and defeat this evil warlord who's taken over the toy factory. Hooray!
Red Warrior needs food badly.
Now, while our heroes are trying to infiltrate the lair, the General is keeping track of them and sending out killer attack toys to stop them. This movie just went from a really unfunny comedy to a really scary unintentional horror film. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play with my toys anymore. Of course, I'm 28 and it's probably time for me to put my toys away, but don't judge me. Don't judge me. Now, while escaping from these killer toys, our heroes find themselves in a warehouse full of old toys and come up with a brilliant strategy. They will wind up all the toys and let them get blown to pieces while they cower. I don't really know what the plan is here, because they don't use the confusion to escape for like 20 minutes. It's just a bunch of toys getting destroyed by other toys. And the wind-up toys don't have a chance. They have no weapons. It's just disturbing to watch more than anything. Also, of course, since it is a film, despite the fact that they tell us many times that all the toys are wind-up toys, they wind them all up, and then they wait until the right moment, and all of them start moving at once. Because that's how wind-up toys work. They all have a time delay for cinematic convenience. Seriously, who is this film for? The first half of the film is lighthearted enough that really I think only a child would enjoy the film, because it's kind of stupid. But kids like stuff that's kind of... You don't have to try so hard when you're trying to entertain children. You should, but you don't have to. But then the second half of the film is an action horror sequence, and it goes on forever, and some of the imagery is pretty disturbing, and I wouldn't want my kids to see this. So who are we targeting here? Do you have a bunch of kids watch the first half, then blow a whistle, call a break, and all the kids go out, and then you bring in the adults for the second half? You need a consistent message. You need to know who your audience is, and you tell them a story. That's how movies work. Seriously, this is like if Toy Story met Saving Private Ryan. Yeah. So, Robin Williams manages to disarm the computer that was controlling all of the General's toys, except for the one scientific abomination that was in the pit of water that's now gone amphibious. And since the control unit was turned off, it went rogue. The General, who's never designed anything in his life, created a semi-sentient toy that may or may not be a genetic abomination unto God. Everybody in this family is like some kind of genius. Alright, we got the guy designing moving walls, we've got the General who just spontaneously figures out the secret to artificial intelligence. Oh, and it gets better, because the toy that went rogue kills Robin Williams' sister. I haven't mentioned the sister up to this point. She's a very unimportant character. Like everybody else, she's one-dimensional, and the dimension in question is she's quirky and weird. Okay, I like quirky in a girl. I really do. But when that's the only attribute you have as a character, it gets irritating really damn fast. So, her entire role exists so that we can see scenes like this.
Some of the new fashion illustrations. What kind of sandwiches do you have today, Joe?
But the point is, the semi-sentient toy blows her head off. Turns out she's a robot designed by the original owner of the toy factory. That's right. Both members of this family can create artificial intelligence, and yet haven't tried to market it or make billions of dollars off of it. Meanwhile, the General's semi-sentient toy turns on him, and he tries to shut it off with this phrase. For those of you who don't know, that's actually a phrase from The Day the Earth Stood Still, which is to deactivate the alien's robot.
Have to Barada. Nikto.
But some of you may better know it from the Army of Darkness.
Klaatu, Barada.
Either way, it's probably my favorite part of the movie, because it reminds me that good movies exist, and I could go watch them instead of this piece of crap. So now we cut to another celebration, or it could be the same one from the beginning of the film, although I doubt it, because I think we established that one happened in the background of the beginning events. I don't know. Maybe both celebrations exist to show us that a year has passed in this time. They're both really pointless and don't serve any function. And by the way, the main characters aren't even a part of the celebration. They just invited in a bunch of strangers that we never meet, never get to know, to have this little celebration. So the general is fine. He's in bed next to his dad, recovering from his wounds. Robin Williams is in charge of the toy factory, and he and Princess Buttercup are getting along fine. And the sister was rebuilt based on the plans that the dad left in his safe. Everybody's good. Good has triumphed. The end. Now, honestly, this film's pretty inoffensive. It's not The Naked Lunch. It doesn't make me want to kill myself. It's just stupid. It's full of one-dimensional characters and unfunny gags, and it can't really decide on a consistent message in terms of tone. It makes it what the f*** worthy, but it doesn't make me want to kill myself. So for that, I thank the film. It's just so weird to have two of your main characters, their defining character trait is that they are military men. Except you make it very clear when you're telling the story that you don't know anything about what military people are like. Like I said, I have no military experience whatsoever, but I know people, I talk to people, because that's what you do when you don't know. You ask questions and you learn, you don't just assume. Anyway, the next film we'll be doing is a special one for me. This film has bothered me for a long time. It has eaten away at me like a cancer in my soul. This film has been the bane of my existence for as long as I can remember, and I'm going to attempt to use this show to exorcise my demons. Next time, let's find out if I can finally get beyond Thunderdome.
Thank you for watching WTF Cinema. Until next time, what the f***, man?